Hey, how's it going, my friends? This is Nick from the Nerd Frenzy Podcast. Today, brothers and sisters, Minecraft. We have the wonderful pleasure to bring on for the first time Briana Emmett, everyone. Hi, daughter. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you, Nick?
I'm very good. Thank you for doing this to me. I appreciate it.
It's good to be here.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. So, you've been wanting to talk about something for a while, and you had a lot of good things to say, but when you said Minecraft, I thought, let's definitely do that one.
Yes.
Absolutely. And you've been playing for, when did you think you started?
About 5 years ago.
Oh, okay, 5 years ago, and you started playing, and was it more of a creative, a survival? How did you do it?
I mostly did creative and just started doing my own builds, and then I started moving on to survival. It just caught my interest.
What would you say is your favorite thing about the game?
The endless possibilities of what you can make in Minecraft. It's all up to your imagination. So it's pretty fascinating how far you could build and what you can build. There's no limitation.
That's very true. It's very true. I actually started. It was not 2000. I think it came out to 2009, and I wasn't there yet. My friend Scotty Siegel. Well, my friend. He's now my brother. That's how awesome that situation worked out. But he actually kept on telling me, play the game, and I watched him play it for a moment, and I remember thinking, this looks stupid. So I feel bad about it now because I waste so much time not playing the game in the first place. But it was something that I was watching him play, and I guess I didn't get it. But then a long time later, I actually had a situation where my best friend William Hammond Boyce Jr. Passed away, and as a war hero, of course. And the only thing that kept me really just feeling somewhat sane was three video games, and that was The Last of Us, Red Dead Redemption, and Minecraft. And Minecraft was probably the majority of all that, and it was something that kept my mind off it. So for that, I was lone Minecraft for the win.
Yeah, same thing, but it's kind of like the same thing, but not really. It's my friend. I had an old friend named Lily. My mom was dating somebody. She was having a hard time, so I had a good friend, and she invited me over to her house to play some video games. And she showed me this game, Minecraft, and I was like intrigued. And she showed me how it works, and it just got me into the mood, and just it changed my mindset of things, and helping me imagine things of what I could do.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is, and you nailed it perfectly when you said it allows you to imagine things that you couldn't do. And the beautiful thing about that, Brianna, is that this game actually is good for your brain. It's something that can ease you out. It's good for your constructive side of like, okay, I want to make something, and it allows for you to create whatever in the world, like you said, that you want to create. And then not only can you do all this, but you get to do it with friends. It's awesome.
Yeah. I actually did some research, and it actually helps people with ADHD and helps them concentrate. Like if they're playing Minecraft, they'll also learn like while doing something else, like schoolwork. It actually helps them remember it.
Oh, okay.
So it's
It kind of
really
opens up the
interesting.
brain a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those games too. The music, for example, like whenever I hear the song title "Sweden," I get super giddy because it's just like bum 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 ba da da ba da da,
Yeah.
and it's so peaceful, and that's kind of one of the hooks that the game has too. Not only do you get to build all this beautiful stuff, you get to do it and kind of be almost like hypnotized by very relaxing music, so you could spend hours doing it. And there's two things about this game, like two different pretty much ways of playing it. And originally, of course, all the mods now, which you know more about that than I do, and I don't really do any all that stuff where they all these little puzzle games and fun little things. Which don't get me wrong, that's so awesome that they're doing it. But a big old community just of all these people modding the game to have fun little things. But the two I'm talking about is survival and creative. And I wanted to ask you, Brianna, what would you say your favorite one was and why?
Would have to be survival because of the intensity that you do, and you have to try to survive on your own with all the monsters and mobs you have to get through and try to make sure you survive on getting resources. It is like it shapes independence in you. Like you have to like depend on yourself and try to get food and just depend on yourself to survive in the world.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and it's cool too because, and what you mean by survive, if you've never played the game, the cool, and I like Survivor by the way more as well. Even though creative, you literally just could have unlimited amount of stuff and it's fun, but there's no real earning of that. And we as people, I mean, could you imagine someone giving you $10 billion and say, "Hey, just sit down and do whatever you want"? At first, it would sound really cool, but then after a while, it's like, well, what do I work for? What are my goals? I don't really have to have anything anymore, and then life might get boring. But so survival for me was always the way to go because you'd have to build a little area real quick, and then it got dark, and then you knew that they were coming out to get you, so you had to start digging, in your little fort that you quickly made, and hope to God that you didn't miss a spot. And it's a lot of fun, and you're always uneasy, like ooh, and you can maybe hear them like close to you, and you're like, this is not okay, and it was a lot of
You're like
fun.
on the edge,
Yeah, exactly. Even
on the edge, you're like, I
yeah,
don't know what's gonna happen.
and it's funny because as you're on the edge and you're hearing all this ambience and whatnot, like all of a sudden you see it and it's a skeleton or a zombie, and it's just a pixelated square thing with a couple, and it's not an actual scary looking thing. It's just a fun little block thing, but it doesn't matter because this game sets you in this world that allows for you to enjoy all the little small things like being scared in the first place, and like, oh, I better hurry because the Enderman's gonna like, and everyone's afraid of the Enderman. I said, and it's something that to this day I've spent almost more time on that game than any other game. Almost. World of Warcraft easily takes that one over.
No, I had to say Minecraft. It's the only like, one game that I don't play.
Uh,
Gang Beasts is close to it, but it has to be Minecraft for me.
yeah, and the cool thing about this too is it started off by one man. One man made this whole thing, and his name is Marcus Persson, aka Notch, and he's a guy from Sweden himself, oddly enough, and he was just making this little thing and started kind of pretty much in beta mode for a while, and just kept on adding things, and people would like kind of see, oh, there's 4 blocks, there's 10 blocks, oh, now there you can have a player, and you start seeing the game develop pretty quickly into obviously what it is now, and his journey is kind of unique too, and I'll talk about that a little later, but pretty much he was pretty much the only guy that created it. It was kind of impressive, like one guy who is now a billionaire created Minecraft.
Yes.
So after this all started happening, you said you came in like 4 years ago,
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Look at you go. 5 years ago, and which did you do? The PC? Did you do a console? What did you do?
First ever I ever played on was the Xbox, actually. Then I moved on to the computer, which I played on my friend's computer. Then I eventually got my own PlayStation. Then I started playing on the PlayStation.
Hmm.
And then it was like the Nintendo Switch, but I mostly play on the PlayStation.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. PlayStation for because it's one of the other, of course. PlayStation has certain games that Xbox doesn't, so it's just kind of like the controller for the PlayStation is a little bit smaller. And pretty much a lot of it's preference, a
Yeah.
lot of it's certain kind of things. But I personally started on the PC, and the reason why I did that is I was told that it had a little bit more capability, I guess. And I'm not sure if that's true or not,
Yes.
but like you'd have bigger maps and whatnot.
I prefer, if I had the chance, I would prefer PC. Like it store uses more storage, and you could just the more mods you could add
Hmm.
onto the worlds.
Hmm. Nice. And so, when you spend the majority of your time playing the game, what are you doing?
I mostly like to just go out on mining and just try to see what else I could make, if I can make any of my world better, like better farms and redstone, and just trying to figure out stuff, or just trying to get some wolves as pet and just start a whole big giant farm.
Yeah, I still have not really gotten the farming thing, but my cousin Lucas is one of those people that's very, I don't know, he's just very detailed with everything he does, and Minecraft is no different thing. We used to make little worlds together, and his world was very elegant and very had a lot of science and technology, and he had like these little contained areas for the chickens, and then he would have his little workers walking around, and it was very unique how he was able to create this world. And I'm just sitting there just wanting to make big trees so I could have my guy stand there so I could make a little Ewok village like Star Wars thing. And I'm looking at his place and it's like the Wizard of Oz. And it's beautiful, and I didn't know what to say. So yeah, some people, it's this is one of those games where the more creative, the more I guess you dig into this world, the better you become, and the like you could make underground railroads, and it's amazing what you can do with this game. And every single release that they have, which is quite often, you get like, oh, we're adding 12 new things, and now you can do this instead of that, and it's impressive to think like what's going to happen in 20 years. Are they going to? I mean, are they going to eventually bump up the graphics a little bit? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, like they keep just making new updates like almost every single year now. Like this year's update, like they made a new cave update. It's just more updates is just making Minecraft more interesting and more things to explore and catching more people's interest.
Hmm. Yeah, because at the end of the day, what you want probably is the more realistic the game is, the more you kind of would feel like you want to put time and effort into it. Because if you're just having a game where you're just punching people in the face, after a moment, it's going to be boring. But if you're having things where you're trying to set like chickens in an area, and then all of a sudden you forgot to close the gate, and then they all go out, and then now you have to go bring the chickens back in, and you're thinking this is awesome, and there's consequences, good and bad, to what I'm doing. So the better I am at this game, the better my situation's going to be, and that's just the name of the game.
Yes. It's just, yeah, the more updates, the more better it can get, and it just the more it can catch people's interest
Mm.
because
And
there's something new almost every year.
right, and you just mentioned the cave thing a moment ago. What would you say, like what would you say was special about the cave? Because I know dungeons and whatnot. That's kind of the whole, I guess the whole luster of this game in the first place was pretty much digging deep, and then all of a sudden there's big old, and the cave turns into a big old dungeon, and you're like, and then now you're gonna find things that you wouldn't be able to find up above. And so, what was these new things for the cave that's kind of allowing it to stay interesting for you?
Just like all the new, like how the textures of the ores and just like where there's a new blocks like amethyst and stuff, and just the surprise and like you don't like know when you're gonna get to an ore. Like if you went strip mining, like you don't know if you'll run into a diamond or not if you go to the right coordinates. Like it's just knowing like you could get sneaked up upon, like creepers could just come up straight behind you from strip mining, and just the intensity, you're like, I don't like what's gonna happen in the mine. Like you can never have. Like you don't know if gravel's gonna fall on your head when you're mining. Like you don't know if lava's like right there. There's a million. You're like you don't know what's gonna happen in the mine.
And this is one of those games too, and I always promote having headphones when you play video games because it allows to kind of trap sounds so you can hear them. But there's something about this game too, like I said, the ambience of just knowing that okay, I'm digging this big old underground area. I'm by myself. I have to put a torch around every once in a while to keep me, in the light, and I can hear, uh, and so you start digging a specific way, you might just really walk right into a zombie or something like that. And regardless of like how they look when you actually see it, they bite you and you die. And it's one of those things, and it scares you. And so you do your opposite to try to like go the other way to where the sound starts getting less and less. Sometimes you screw up and you go right into it. And these are one of those things that just make this game like always constantly like changing for you. There's no real. It's just completely randomness in terms of like, okay, well, there's a zombie here, but it's not gonna be here next time. Possibly, it might be because it walks somewhere else, and it's cool how this whole game does that. And since it's made with such small, like the JPEG, since it's such a small kind of thing, you can almost get away with having like unlimited uh, bears and fish and all this kind of stuff because of the fact that it's not taking much memory up. So it's kind of genius.
Yes. Especially like just all the animals that they're adding in, like axolotls this year. Like that was like a really good hit. I know a lot of my friends loved axolotls when they were added. They're like the cutest animal there is in Minecraft. It's just all the animals that they could add and mods and just the texture packs. It's just there's like an endless possibilities of what you could do in Minecraft.
Oh, absolutely. And the more like the more you get invested into it, the more you start finding out certain things too. And I have this problem where I'll play the game like hardcore for a short amount of time, like a month or two or three, and then I'll come back to it like 2 months later, and then I kind of just forgot all the shortcuts and all the control F, and then takes three lumber and two, and I forget all that stuff. So I can't like retain it sadly. But these people who get a like that's the game they play. They get it. It's fresh in there, and then all they're doing all day is just getting better and better and creating these beautiful worlds. And
Yes.
I've seen on YouTube. I used to just do this thing where I would just type in best YouTube Minecraft worlds, and you go through these things, and a lot of times they'd be like movie themed. And I remember seeing a really good Beetlejuice one where you're going like on a roller coaster, kind of like you did in the opening credits of the cartoon, and the song was on, and you've seen all these colors and like all the like it's breathtaking. First of all, how much time these people spent on this, and maybe even this person, maybe not, maybe more, just one person, but they spent on this, and then how much like people like are looking at this like artwork, but it's moving around, and you're seeing it work, and it's cool that it's just a reminder that people are awesome.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
so you said that you want to talk a little bit about the latest update because like we say about around every year they have a new one, and I'm guessing they have
Yes.
little small patches here and there to kind of like fix things and then maybe just add a little thing here and there. But what was the new stuff that they brought around this time?
They're adding they're just adding like new stuff to like they might add a new biome, but it's almost like the swamp but a little different with some new blocks, and there might be like some frogs and fireflies and just like a couple of new mobs here and there.
Hmm.
And there's also like this you could put boat chests in boats now.
Oh.
So you could probably travel with your luggage in a boat now. So I'm excited for that because I vote like it would be really helpful, and they add that
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Are they eventually going to plan on like getting a thing that's like above a diamond or anything like that? Like, are they just sticking with that for now?
I think they're just sticking for that because there is netherite that is stronger than diamond, but that was like added like 2 years ago.
Okay, and is that used like that's not the primary thing? You'd pretty much be getting that after you already were pretty far in the game,
Yes.
where diamonds you can just know the coordinates and kind of be able to start. 'Cause I know once you get what is it like 96 or something? I forget what the exact number is, but when you find what was it by the way?
And netherite.
No, what was the level like you you dig down to get
Oh,
to
so they
the
used to
diamonds?
one level 12, but now since the new cave update, it goes down even deeper. So I
Oh,
actually do not know what
oh,
the coordinates is to find diamonds at that
oh,
point of the new
nice.
update.
I just it's so cool because it's one of those things. Like I said, there's consequences. If you want to go down to that little area, little area, big old dungeon area, and start like making it your home, you have to shut it all into specific areas so the monsters can't come get you, and you have to light it up correctly. And if you don't, you'll just start playing the game the next day, and all of a sudden there's stuff in there like trying to get you, and it's just funny and it's exciting and adventurous that they make a game like this. And I mentioned it was a strength of it, but I'm curious to see if they ever could make a Minecraft game with great graphics and then also the exact same, like, pretty much unlimited amount of things. But I'm curious to know if that's one of those things where you'd need like a 500 gigabyte or 1 terabyte of memory. I'm not sure. And if you need a brand
Yeah.
new PC, I'm not sure how hardcore that would be, but
I
I'm curious.
think they're slowly working on it. Slowly working on trying to make it more realistic, but it's going to take a while because, like you said, it might take up a lot of memory.
Mm, mm, absolutely, and sadly, I have a decent computer myself, but I wouldn't be able to touch it. So it would have to be on a console for me, and that's fine and all. But the only problem with consoles is they don't seem to have the same kind of love for like the fingerings and stuff like that as a computer does.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't see playing a video game like a World of Warcraft on a console because it just there's 60 keys that you could learn to play, but now you have to figure out how to do all that in like 12 keys. So I'm not sure exactly how that would even work for a game like that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick, I always I always go back and forth. I either do underwater lair or tree lair. What is your go to?
Ooh, mine would actually have to be under like. Oh, that's actually a hard question.
I know.
I have to do underground base, or like in a mountain, like kind of build in the mountain, but also kind of in the open, but while they're just connected into the mountain base.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you like where the end of the mountain's kind of like your patio. You can look off the mountain and everything like that.
Yes, and you
Absolutely.
just build into it and like make it into your house kind of thing.
Absolutely. And the only thing about that is I always they would say always to make your first camp very close to where you know started because if you died then it'd be easy to find it and all that stuff. But I never did that because I'd always just want to go find like some kind of special area that was on the opposite side of the map, and then I would always get lost because I didn't have a map, and then I'd go try to go. I always would hurt myself in that, and then I would literally spend sometimes days looking for that spot again, and then I just like, oh, I can't find it. Then I start building something else, and then 2 years later, I find it, and like, oh, there you are.
Yeah, I get that feeling. I'm like, I can never stay at the good spawn unless if it's a pretty spawn where I could get an immediate idea where to build my house.
Mm.
House, excuse me. Then I'm just like always just going out to find a cool place to build my house or base and just try to find an interesting place that catches my interest.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice when you have family and friends to play with too, because a lot of times you can actually assign to them specific roles and whatnot. Like, hey, you make the food, and I'll go do chop down the trees, and it's kind of a fun little thing that you're doing, a little teamwork thing where you can just have an open world concept of just trying to survive with each other, and it's makes the game sometimes even much more entertaining for me.
Yes, I would if I had to pick between to play by myself or with friends, I'd pick friends for sure because it just makes the game like just way better.
Yes, even just the idea of like whenever, and I know it sounds silly, the idea of whenever like you're building your home and you're like, hey, Brianna, come over and visit my home, and you see your little character walking up, and then you're looking around, and
Yes,
you're like, oh, I like your home. Oh, cool stairs. How'd you do that? And it's just, I mean, it's just that you're having this conversation about this, this silly thing, and you're all in.
yes.
Oh. So, uh, speaking of like the community and working with other people, what the heck? I mean, the community for Minecraft is crazy. I mean, they're building everything, and I want to talk to you for a moment, if I can. There's one in particular that you really like enjoying, and that is the Dream. Tell me about him.
Oh, he is actually holds. I think I haven't checked in a while, but he has hold the world's record of speed running Minecraft to killing the Ender Dragon.
Oh, what is that around?
Oof, I cannot remember on top of my head actually.
Yeah, I'll flash it. I'll flash it on the thing for later on, and when I look it up. But uh,
Okay,
yeah, what do you have to do to get to that? You have to go find the that I don't know what you call that fire thing. What is that called?
the Nether.
Yeah, the
You gotta
net.
go to the Nether Fortress, get some end rods, turn into and just like get Ender eyes, and then just try to find the end portal and try to defeat the dragon in the fastest time as you can. But you try to get resources at the same time so you can kill it, the Ender
Yeah.
dragon.
And I'm one of those people where if it takes me 12 years to fight the dragon, I don't care because I just like the journey to get to him. And in fact, I've only beaten him one time ever, and I told myself after I beat him, like, I don't really care anymore to have to really fight you, so I'm just gonna keep on enjoying Minecraft, by itself.
Yes. I defeated it about around 5 times. And I was like, once it was in first time ever was in creative with the help because I got some weapons from there, but the rest of the times was from survival. But I died so many times; it's unbelievable how much I lost my resources and stuff. But just going to have to go back and forth to try to defeat the Ender Dragon and try to make sure you don't die. It's fun, but I also tried also speed running it. It didn't really go so well.
Oh man! And I said I would just have too much anxiety, and it's a weird thing. I sometimes I tell this to people, and they're always looking at me like I'm a strange person afterwards. But I always say like, yeah, sometimes video games give me anxiety, and they're like, well, I play video games because it takes away my anxiety, and I'm just like, well, I can't. Some video games, and sometimes whenever I would like get into the ender and everything, I would start getting anxiety. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go back in the normal world and do my thing and make my
Yeah.
Ewok village.
Yeah. But about Dream, I think like, he was a big influence on other people to start playing Minecraft because I think people were inspired by him, by Dream himself. So I would think a lot more people started playing Minecraft because of Dream because they're like, I want to try this for myself.
Mm.
Because Dream has been doing also not to try to speed run Minecraft. He's also been doing these videos called manhunts where somebody has to try to come and kill Dream, but Dream has to try to kill the Ender Dragon without dying once. If he dies once, the game is over.
Mm.
But if he doesn't die once and he kills the Ender Dragon, that means he wins. And he's done this up, I think, to at least six players trying to hunt him down and try so he could try to kill the Ender Dragon.
Oh. So he's always constantly challenging himself, and that's something that with certain video games, like that's actually the reason why I liked Minecraft is because the challenge for me was not in that kind of way. It was just more not dying at night, and that alone is all I needed to feel kind of challenged from it. So I was just like, oh, cool, I'm not dying. As much at least. I'm not dying. I'm building my awesome thing. Life is good, and that's literally all I needed from Minecraft. And that's all I've ever needed. And it was just kind of funny. And I remember the first time I started trying to play Minecraft. Funny little story. I was with Scotty again. Funny enough, he finally talked me into it, and and his wife Maddie, my sister, and we were all in the same room with three laptops playing Minecraft, and we decided to put on a show that we've never seen before. So we put on a show called Bob's Burgers, and uh, so we were playing Minecraft for the first time, and we couldn't really get into it because we were too busy falling in love with Bob's Burgers. So it was kind of a bad time to do Minecraft. So we were just
Yeah.
we were just watching Bob's Burgers, and then finally, I think the next day when we took a break from Bob's Burgers, we started playing it again, and then I got hooked, and it's just one of those things. Once you start playing that game, and you see what you can do, and you're looking at your friends and everyone, and they have something completely different than you, and you're like, wow, it's crazy how all of us completely have a different concept of what how we think buildings should look.
Yeah. It's just like different looks of how they want their buildings to look. It's just seeing what people think of and what to build.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But it's a game that, like I said, the community and the Dream is a good example because he has so many followers that just watch him play this game, and he has millions of people that watch him play this game, and it's a kind of true testament to the game. It's also a true testament of how YouTube has been able to advertise that kind of stuff. But it's funny how games in general now have this whole thing where millions of people in the world will watch you play video games because you're charismatic, or you're good at the game, whatever. All the above. But you said the Dream, like he's a guy who's just doing these small little challenges that's not even necessarily connected to the game itself. He's just like I said, these mods that people make and then they share to the rest of the world. And you're playing a game that might not even be close to Minecraft. It might be something like closer to a first-person shooter that has a Minecraft look to it. And it's just cool that you can kind of use this and like the codes and whatnot, and then you can learn how to code yourself, and then start adding and taking stuff away, and then have your own game from the Minecraft universe.
Yeah, exactly. Just like just a suspension of of what every time like Dream does like not just a mana hunt, like he does other uses other people's mods like finding like in a certain amount of time you have to die this way that the game tells you have to die. Like there's just these certain mods that he finds offline online that he tries and just makes a video about it and it catches everybody's attention.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Minecraft came out in 2009, Brianna, and it's still very, very popular. I mean, it's crazy. And like I said, the graphics look like Nintendo. It's like Nintendo, like NES, and it's crazy that a game that looks aged is not even close to aged for the simple fact that it's just such a fun game. And I'm one of those people. I'm a sucker for good graphics and whatnot, and typically that's what sells me a lot of time is good graphics and like, oh, how good is the new console's graphics going to look and all that kind of jazz. But sometimes there's just something so special about something like Minecraft that it doesn't matter how it looks necessarily. All it matters is how it feels when you play it. And there's like you said earlier, there's always something going on, and you can do almost anything you want. And if you can't now, you might be able to next year.
Yes. Sure, like but I've been having a problem because like I've been trying to play Minecraft, but like my imagination is like not thought of anything to build. But then like the next day I come on and like I just have an immediate thing to build because like I've seen like a video of like somebody building this. And you're like, you know what? I want to try this. Like I want to try out this redstone hack. I want to try out this Minecraft glitch. It's just so many videos based off of Minecraft on YouTube is just it inspires you to want to play Minecraft and like get new ideas, even though if you run out.
Mm. And I think the biggest thing for me, Brianna, at the end of the day, is besides, I mean, because I'm a customization guy. I like games that have the word customize and edit your character, all that kind of stuff. I'm big into that kind of thing. But you get to edit this world. But I think the biggest thing for me, besides that, is the fact that I would get lost. I would get lost in the whole game, and I don't mean like lost like as in on the map, but like lost in the terms of just like, oh, this game has got me in another world, and I'm curious. I haven't tried it yet, but we have that VR set. I'm curious on what Minecraft would look like in VR.
Oh, I've tried it once at my friend's. It just opens up a whole new world. Like it's just like it's supposed to do that, but it's supposed to make you feel like you really are in there. But like it just intensifies everything. Like you're like feels like you're dreaming at that point. You're just like, I'm in Minecraft. Like I'm the one that's actually controlling my movements and everything. It's crazy.
Hmm.
Hard. It's way more intense. It's harder and it's just way more fun, I think.
Right. Well, when you're like playing on a normal video game, you're looking at your TV. Your TV's probably 10, 15 feet away. Maybe not that far, but like 5 to 10 feet away. But when you're in VR, it's literally right here. So when you're walking with your character, and then all of a sudden here's a zombie that's literally right here looking at you. You see that zombie. He's an inch from you. He's not 10 feet from you. So I could see, and then like you turn around to run away, and then you see behind you. You're not seeing your baby walk by, and you're not seeing your mom pouring milk for you. No, you're seeing only that world. And I've been just for doing a little research on Minecraft. I was also doing a little VR stuff, and you find out that these people are like sleeping in his world sometimes, and it's kind of silly, but it's kind of, that's probably where we're going to be going one day soon, where you can actually design your own room, and it'll probably be some kind of thing where you have to pay real money or you have to earn some kind of thing, and then now you get to use that metallic thing to put in your room. And then I don't know if it'll ever be good for you, but maybe there'd be some kind of way where you put something on and you're able to go to sleep, and then you wake up and you look at your world that you created, and oh, there's that new metallic thing that I paid for or I earned. And oh, since I played the Minecraft game, and since I killed the big dragon, there's a big old dragon head trophy that's sitting in my room right now that I'm looking at too. So I'm curious if they're gonna start implementing these things more and more. Some of it's scary, of course, but some of it's very
Yeah,
fascinating. And
I
Minecraft,
would love that. Then
oh yeah, and I don't
to wake
mind.
up and be like,
Oh yeah.
oh, I reacted to that.
I know, and there is something interesting about it where you can think, oh, I'm poor in real life, but I'm looking at my room right now, and for me personally, it probably looked like a Star Wars room. It probably looked sci-fi or something like that. But
I'm just
it,
pulling anime over here in my room.
you're right, right. Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
be that anime room.
I remember, yeah, there was a part in Aliens where they have like a hologram thing, and it's like a fake little wilderness, but they were actually in space. It was just something to keep you, soothed. And we're
Yeah.
definitely headed there. But yeah, I saw someone sleeping in the Minecraft world, and they would literally put their thing on, lay down, and then they would wake up 8 hours later to go to work. And you know that every once in a while they'd open their eyes, just because we all would open our eyes every once in a while, and they're just seeing like this fake Minecraft world, looking around, going, "Yeah, here it is," and then I'm gonna go back to bed again, and then they close their eyes, and I'm curious on what that does to their brain and whatnot, but it is a
Yeah, like
fascinating thought.
yeah, I can't remember which YouTuber I saw this from, but I actually remember that they were on VR in Minecraft and they were on there for 24 hours. But they actually had to sleep like in life with the VR set on and like they could not take it off for 24 hours and they slept in Minecraft and everything. And every time they ate Minecraft food, they got to eat the exact same Minecraft food that they get to eat in real life. Like if you eat a steak in Minecraft, you get a steak and somebody feeds it to you. So I'm like, that's actually really interesting.
Ah, absolutely, yeah, and it's odd. I would say. I mean, that's just kind of the start of where we're going. And since I guess I'm at the age where I probably wouldn't be doing that, but I do
Okay.
understand that well, I know you would. I do. Understand there's a definite appeal to it. So I'm curious to see where that's going to head soon too. But like I said, I'm curious to see where Minecraft's going to head because they've been updating this game since 2009, and 2009 they had four things, and then all of a sudden they have 12 things, and all of a sudden they have 200 things, and then 6,000 things. And it's not just like, oh, we're giving you new skins. They're actually like changing the dynamic of the game. Like, oh, if you do this and this, it makes this creation, and that's now this is here. And there's so much going on with it, and it's hard to keep up with. Like every time I get back on the game and play with you or someone else, there's been two updates ever since that or something like that, and then all of a sudden, like this new creature's walking up to me. I'm like, what is that? Ah!
Yeah, like so like they're trying to make a this new mod called the Warden. I have not seen it in Minecraft yet because I don't think they have put it out, but I see some videos of the Warden as like a hostile mob in Minecraft. I'm like, "Nah, okay, that sounds creepy and scary. It looks scary and everything. I'm like, I'm interested and can't wait to see it because I've seen other people already play on it. I just don't know if it's an actual mod we get to download or anything. So
Uh, okay, yeah. And I'm not very good at the downloading stuff. I've tried it a few times, and you can't. It's hard. It's not very compatible sometimes, and it's hard to kind of put together. But some people are very good at doing that, and they have all these mods and whatnot. They do pretty much anything they want in the game. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just crazy. I've seen so many things on YouTube, fan films, fan music videos, and a lot of them are stuck. And our family ourselves have actually like learned some of the songs and watched them over and over again. And there's pretty much just a huge pop culture relevance to this Minecraft, and it's caused a movement, and it's allowed for people to be creative and just be able to do whatever they want and then do it in a peaceful manner. And it's just awesome that's done that. And I'm I just I'm in awe that this game has got this far and it's still going strong.
yeah, same. It's just like one of the top world's famous games out there. Like sure, some years it might go down, but then it shoots straight back up to the top, like one near the top three, and it's just like because Fortnite used to be very, very famous, but then Minecraft went up right straight above it because of how much it keeps updating.
Yep, yep.
Um, Minecraft keeps finding ways to update it to make it more interesting and better in
Hmm.
a way,
Yep, that's very
no
true.
matter what.
And it's one like you said it perfectly. It keeps it fresh, and it's very rare for a game to like, oh, we've been at the top now. Now these new games came out. They're gonna be at the top for a while. we come out with a new update, it brings us back up again, and most of the time, I'm not sure how good Fortnite is these days. I don't know. I heard that they did away with some things, like some of the building, but from what I've heard just from watching you guys play these games, watching my nephews play the games, playing the games myself a little bit, is that some of these games will stand the test time for a few years, but Minecraft's been doing it 2009, and it still is. Like when you look at all the like top hits of like the new games and the new
Yeah,
consoles,
like
they still find a way to have Minecraft somewhere there at the top.
yeah, it's just like how like the new Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, like that was like way up, and then it slowly died down, but it's still really pretty popular game. Like haven't played it yet, but it looks super interesting, and like it's catching my interest. But
Hmm.
Minecraft still has to be like one of the top few that I really like. So it's
It's
just always going back up and down because they always find something new to add to Minecraft.
That's true. And it's funny you bring up Five Nights at Freddy's because that was the last one I just put out, and it's actually I just put out a couple of days ago now, and I learned all the information, and I played a little bit of Security Breach, by the way, and even though the gameplay itself I found to be not as interesting in terms of it's changing their vibe a little bit, but the lore and the little Easter egg stuff like that were at top notch, and I really appreciated that, and I appreciated the Terminator 2 quality going on with the new
Glam Rock Freddy.
yeah Glam Rock Freddy. Thank you. Yeah, it's and he's like the protector of it now, and it's cool. It's different. So it's funny that you just brought that up. Yeah, I just did that with Cadence. That was a lot of fun, but and that's a good example. But the thing about Five Nights at Freddy's is they keep on making new games, and that's what kind of keeps it relevant. Minecraft still is the same game it always was. They just add on to it, and that is impressive in itself. And it's like in closing here, Brianna, it's one of those things that something to have this big massive effect for this long and still probably has a lot more time left, and then maybe whenever they're about ready to kind of start lose focus, maybe they just update something else, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's back again, and that's very
Yeah,
rare for that to be a thing. And I mean, it shows kind of just how amazing this game is in the first place.
yeah. It's just because like it goes down and goes straight back up. Since like you said, it's rare. Like they've been doing it so much, it's just that no wonder it's like one of the world's top famous games, world famous games.
That's true. That's very true, and it's something that I have spent many hours playing, and I know I'll spend many hours more because it has that appeal. It has that lasting appeal. And there's one thing important about anything in this world, and that's repeat value. And most things, in my opinion, don't have repeat value, but this game does. And it's one of those things. I don't know what it is, but there's certain movies too, like Shawshank Redemption. The repeat value in that movie is so strong that I watch it all the time, and for many people that's considered the best movie of all time, and maybe that's why it is because you watch it all the time and it's such a crazy movie. Minecraft does the same thing, and it's already had this appeal for such a long time already, and it still is the top of its game, and you got to kind of just bow to it and say, "Good job, guys! You're killing it." So, and it was one guy who started the whole thing, and yes, Microsoft bought it from them, and then Microsoft does what Microsoft does with everything, and just goes for it and brings on to the times 200. But it still has the same charm as it always has, and I hope it stays that way, and I hope that they keep it kind of the same love, and if they ever do change it enough, then you and I are going to have another conversation about it.
Yes, it's like it just still catches my interest at how much people could work on Minecraft and to turn it into like their own. Like
Hmm.
they made Minecraft and they made maps of Minecraft of like where it's a horror game now.
Hmm.
Like they make horror maps. Like it just sure like I played some horror maps on Minecraft, but my like off topic sure like my favorite horror game ever would be like Resident Evil Village.
Resident Evil Village
That
is
would be
great.
like if somebody made Resident Evil Village in Minecraft, I would be dying to try that out. Like there's endless possibilities for people because like somebody made a horror game of like Minecraft with Granny, like
Hmm.
the you know the game Granny. It's exactly like they made exactly like that, but Minecraft version.
Yeah, I've seen Five Nights at Freddy's on Minecraft, and that's the power of this game, and it's something like I said, we got to keep on cherishing it, we got to keep on playing it because it's something that is it's evolving with us, it's growing with us, and it's that's the amazingness of Minecraft. So I'm glad I got to talk with you about it, Brianna, and I'm glad that you got to bring us more information about what's coming soon. And because I'm not very good with that kind of stuff, anyways, I have a my mind is shot, but. So thanks for
Yeah,
bringing that.
you're old.
I know. Well, I don't. No, I'm still in my uh, beautiful 30s. Come on now. But yeah, thanks so much for
Are you
coming
sure
on,
about
Brianna.
that?
I appreciate it. I'll stop. I'll stop. But yeah,
You almost dropped, so.
thank you, thank you. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Brianna. I appreciate it, and we'll talk about the next topic very soon. And I love you, so thank you.
Love you too.
All right, well, take care, everyone. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.